On this edition, we're diving into a topic that is timely yet controversial: Black Friday fever. Is it a smart shopping choice or a spending trap? It's that time of the year when most of our favorite shops, both online and physical, are rolling out irresistible deals and massive discounts. For a lot of us, this is one of the few times we get to buy stuff from the fancy shops we've been targeting for a whole year. And for others, really, discounts will not matter. The price drops by these Instagram boutiques and the local fashion brands to big retail names. Around this time of year is slowly making November a highly anticipated month. But while the excitement builds up, it's also a season where many of us lose sight of our financial goals by overspending, forgetting our budgets, and starting the new year trying to recover. The question is, how can we strike a delicate balance between enjoying these offers and staying financially smart? How do we plan ahead, spend wisely, stay within our budget, and still make room to clear our carts? So to help us unpack all of this, I'm joined by Emma Okansi, our head of distribution, Old Mutual Ghana, together with Kobe Obinkuranting, the wild shopper. We would also have a segment on this program by our very own Patrick Bambankwa, an investment analyst, to put the cherry on the cake. So let's start with a big question. You call it Black Friday. Others call it the sales rush. Some even call it smart shopping and spending trap. What exactly is it? Emma?
Well, I would say we are at that time of the year where all these, I wouldn't call them noise, but it's an opportunity again for people to compare prices and shop in a smart way. Black Friday actually, provides the platform for people to compare prices and then, able to save money because they're able to compare prices and buy things at very discounted prices. Now, for us to maximize or take advantage of this Black Friday, what we need to do is to plan ahead. Planning is crucial in this instance. And then you list the items that you need with emphasis on need. You need to set a clear budget as well, and then ensure that you stick to the budget that you have set. Now, what you need to do is to ensure that the noise sometimes become exciting to the extent that if you don't take care, especially with the ladies, you're like, oh, I will need this in the future. We pack our homes with a lot of stuff that we do not need. And then we tend to give them out. Yes, but this time around, I think we need to stick to the list and the budget that we have set for ourselves. So we do not go into or stress ourselves with overspending or this exciting news actually tricking us into impulse buying. We also need to do this linked to the on the money way, on the money elephant way, so that I think people will be asking, what is this on the money elephant way? But I will touch on it as we go on with our discussion.
The discounts are too good to be true. Kobe, you and I, we know about these discounts. Some
I
give us
know.
as much as 60%, 70%. This is serious. But let me ask, are these just tricks? Are these just, marketing gimmicks? Or they are actually real?
Well, I'll say it's a mix of it being real and
Okay.
also a marketing strategy. Because personally, I've benefited from
Okay.
some of these mega discounts. I mean, going up to about 80%. So it's, yes, the deals will appear too good to be true. They really are, because it's that time of the year when these companies want to attract people to spend. But how do you ensure that you are not falling trap to it? Just stay informed and ensure that you are comparing prices, okay? And also ensure that you have a list of the things you really need before the time comes, so you can go in for exactly what you're looking for. If you do these things, these marketing or opportunities to shop will come at a very good advantage to you.
Wow. Emma, you started off by walking us through budgeting, which, leads to smarter shopping. Tell me, how do we achieve realistic budgeting to cash in on this global trend?
So for us to achieve this, we at Old Mutual have actually designed a program, and then we've backed the program with a document that
Okay.
is the financial education document. This actually highlights the key attributes of the 5 wild animals.
Okay.
And clearly for me, what the animal that stands out amongst these 5 is the elephant.
Kukrudu.
Let me not go there. So Jerry, this elephant is an intelligent animal.
Wow.
It's able to scan its environment. It knows its environment. It's able to solve problems. And one of the things that I like so much or marvels me about that animal is it has good memory. It doesn't forget. Now, how do we link that to the discussion we're having? It means that we need to scan and know what is happening in the economy.
Okay.
Compare interest rates or prices of items, ensure that we are aware of our earnings, and let me stress on earnings, have clear budgets, ensure we stick to the budget. And I think we should be good to go whilst we are able to attach discipline to all the things that I have mentioned.
So let's take a little pause and go to our segment on the show, which we call the Money Wise, with Patrick, the financial analyst.
To set a realistic budget for a global sales like we are about to see, you need 2 things in my view. And these 2 things are, one, a hard spending limit, and also a clear focus on a true long-term value. So let me start with the first one. Setting the realistic budget. Here, you have to forget about cutting back on necessities. It won't happen. What you need to do is to have a realistic budget that must be ring fencing your cash. What I mean is that you have to create dedicated fund, i.e. use a separate wallet on account that you label maybe global sales or the Black Friday season, and make sure you don't touch that particular emergency fund that you have allocated for essential bills. So this dedicated will be for just the season. And as you all know, if you are going for the budget rule, I usually go for the 70-30 rule when it comes to creating the fund. What this means is that you are trying to avoid what we call the buyer remorse. I always advise my listeners to allocate their sales funds according to one, things that are necessary, which is necessity, items that you need to replace, like broken items, boost your productivity, or some high quality asset that will last. Then the 30% should go to your want, and that's where we are talking about the things that you call them fun, discretionary items that will help you to control your impulse spending. The second one is to know your true cost, the true cost of the thing that you're going to buy within this season. And this is the most important step for us in Ghana, especially when we have a lot of prices online. Most of this online price is a lie. If you look at the actual value of the price, sometimes it's the same, but because we don't do enough of the calculation, we just think that they are the same. So that's what we call the hidden cost formula. Again, you also have to look at the currency. Since we are buying, most of these items will be online items, except those that we have it in the malls. You need to factor in the impact of your CD and the charges that they'll come with. These are very important things that you need to consider. Again, in maximizing your value around this time, you have to make sure you truly make the most out of the sales. You have to be strategic. And strategy here means that only buy things that you are already planning to purchase at full price within the next period that you're going to go through this season. Sales are for acceleration for me, and it's not for just initiating new and unplanned spending. Once you do that, they'll be able to set a very good threshold of how much money you are willing to spend on a particular item. Again, don't also waste your budget on small savings budget on things that you already have. Focus on spending on items that are within a discount. So sometimes for example, I set a discount of, let's say, 25 and above is what I will be convinced to step in. If it's anything less than 25%, I don't see it as a very good reduction for the particular season that we find ourselves. Again, you have to focus on using the sales to buy the most expensive, sometimes durable and high quality items that ordinarily you wouldn't have had money to buy. And that helps you to be able to be clear in your mind around this season. What I would say around this final question is that in this season, you'd have to be very intentional. Intentional in the sense that make sure you have a fence around the money that you are willing to focus and, dish out around this season. Calculate the true cost of the value, not just about the discount you are seeing. And that's how you're able to turn a very global sales event like we're about to experience into a very smart financial decision.
Wow, that was very insightful, Patrick. But let's take off from where Patrick left us. What have been the trends? What have been the common mistakes? And how can we avoid these setbacks to achieve, prudent financial management?
Right. It's interesting to know that a lot of the things we shoppers are doing right is also backed by science, like what Tema said.
Okay.
And a lot of things you're also not doing right is also proven from the research
Okay.
Emma and her team have done. But I would say to the common mistakes people do is that we don't plan ahead of time.
Wow.
We wait till the time is due for the mega sales or Black Friday is happening. And then we are pushed to rush into it. And if you don't plan, it means you also don't have the right budget.
Okay.
And it means you don't even have the money readily available to buy these things. So what do you fall on? Your regular income or some emergency fund saving somewhere.
Okay.
Or even borrow from friends and family just to get the things that we think we need because they are on too good to be true prices. If I take myself for example, I bought a couple of blazers, and Jerry, the prices were just, I mean,
Too
some
good to be true.
Too good to be true. Now they come in and Charlie, the hand is either too long or the shoulder is, and I'm even looking at how I can dispose it of. So I either have to dash it or sell it for a price lower than what I even bought on a Black Friday.
What some people say, atasa.
So you notice that planning ahead is very key.
Okay.
And also having a list of the things we do. I mean, and that's the mistake that most of us make. And the worst part is the borrowing.
Hey.
I mean, you borrow, and after you've enjoyed the item you've bought, you have to pay back in like forever.
Borrowing back.
Okay.
It's serious.
Kobe, I mean, you touched on borrowing, and that reminds me of one interesting thing I heard on one of these popular radio stations. The host was actually mentioning, oh, we are at the end of the year, you've worked so hard and you need to give yourself a treat, buy this ticket for this party, do this, do that. And one also said, oh, don't worry, even is it government of Ghana is also owing, so what is it? I mean, but one interesting thing that I discovered in our Old Mutual Financial Monitor in 2024 had to do with almost 6% of household incomes are actually used to offset debt.
Wow.
So exactly.
No, wait. 6%.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, talking about borrowing and people being advised to spend this Christmas, give themselves, it's good to do that. It's good to buy, gifts for your people, but you need to plan ahead and make sure that you live within your means. Let me also digress a bit. I before we even entered the studio, I was having a conversation with Kobe, and I did mention that growing up, my grandmother used to do something strange that I didn't understand. Whenever she's buying bread, you see her weighing them. It looked weird to us, but I mean, I think, well, at that time we didn't understand certain things. I'm not saying we should go weigh bread, no, but I mean, it gives us the idea that, look, don't just pick things, but ensure that you conduct some kind of due diligence to say, am I getting the value that I need on this money, on whatever I'm spending? Again, back to the borrowing issue, we need to be careful. Again, the presenter said something, and then later on he said, whilst you are spending, don't forget that January is 100 days. And then so again, it's telling you need to spend in a more religious, or in a more guarded way.
Okay.
So that in January, you do not find yourself in that situation where you have to take your annual leave in December, or you now start doing 2-1-2. Is it 1-2-1 where you eat breakfast, you don't eat lunch, that kind of thing? I mean, we've seen people, the cycle, go on, and people do not change. But we are using this opportunity to encourage people that, look, this is the budget. Plan ahead. Make sure you get discipline. In fact, you adhere or stick to the budget that you have set for yourself. Yeah.
That is the word, discipline. But Kobe, how do we achieve such discipline when the deals are so good to be true and they're just pouring in?
That's a very difficult one, isn't it? Because we are looking forward to it. I mean, myself, maybe I have a list of things that I need, either for myself or the family. And so, but discipline is key.
Okay.
It's key. And I would also want to learn from what Emma mentioned about the elephants. How do I stay disciplined? I need to scan my environment, know the things that I really need,
Okay.
and then make a list of them, prioritize which one should come first or not. And again, I also need to know how much I'm earning, and then how much I can spend, and not even go beyond that budget. Otherwise, I'll fall trap to the borrowing and think that I can spend now and pay later. You know, these sales and deals are good. I have benefited, like I mentioned. Before I even moved out of my parents' home, I bought all my electrical gadgets from one of these very good deals.
Okay.
Wrapped them until I was ready to move. And that called for a lot of planning ahead.
Yeah.
It's okay to miss out on the November and December deals. In January, February, or even up to Easter, these deals will come back.
Okay.
So if you miss out now because you are planning properly, you are staying disciplined, then you would enjoy and see great value for your money come the next deals somewhere in January or at the end of quarter 1 or 2, 2026. Yeah.
So in short, budgeting and discipline, the benefits
Planning
far
ahead.
outweigh Black Friday.
Far,
Okay.
far.
If you want to chat with us at Old Mutual for savings tips and plans, like our special investment plan or MVest, we're a call away on 0307 000 600 or on WhatsApp on 050 833 3537. If you're just joining us, it's the On the Money podcast by yours and mine, Old Mutual Ghana. We've been talking about Black Friday and all its, botanical names. We've talked about smart budgeting. We've talked about borrowing and its effect. We've talked about discipline. We've talked about budgeting. Now we want to take our final words. Kobe, what say you?
Well, smart spending and smart buying is good. These deals are good in themselves, but they can also be a hindrance and a headache. So I need to be disciplined. Shoppers out there, we all need to be disciplined. Have you started, looking at the trends and comparing prices? Do you have a budget? Have you saved enough? Do you really need the things that will be put on sale? Do all these things and you would enjoy from these mega deals. If you haven't, take a pause. I mean, November, December will not be the only mega sales in town. Come January or even during the Easter break, there will be more. So let's do that now. Let's act like the elephant, and then we can enjoy these deals when they come around.
Super. Emma?
So for me, discipline is everything when it comes to savings.
Okay.
And we've already touched on a lot of things, how to go about these things. But let me remind our listeners that, look, you need to plan ahead. List the items that you need, with again emphasis on need. Have your budget and ensure you stick to the budget.
Okay.
If you need any help, please don't forget a conversation on the financial education where we linked it to what the elephant actually does. So ensure that you scan your environment, which is to know how the trends in the economy. If it has to do with you borrowing, know the interest rate, compare the interest rate of the various banks. If it has to do with just shopping, you need to scan and be very sure that this is what you actually need and this is what you're going for. Back to Black Friday sales. My ladies, I know what time it is and I know how we do it. But this time around, let's do it the other way, the on the money way, the elephant way, where we are planning. The weeks are interesting. In fact, they are tempting. If you don't take care, you'll be tricked or lured into impulse buying. Let's stick to what we need. Let's take the least that we have. And to our gentlemen, I know our ladies will come, but ensure that you do the listing together. And you do the budgeting together, so that at the end of the day, there wouldn't be any challenge. So to our single gentlemen and then to our married couples, please try and do that together. I think once we're able to do this, we'll create a very good, and serene atmosphere or environment where we can all live a stress-free life.
Wow. Kobe, Emma, and Patrick, thank you ever so much for lending us your insights. And that's a wrap for today's episode. As we gear up for Black Friday, remember, it's not about chasing the biggest discounts, but about shopping smart and spending with intention. A good deal isn't really one that leaves you broke or buying what you don't need. So plan ahead, save early, and stick to your budget. Whether you're shopping from your favorite Instagram store or a local boutique or going globally online, make every cedi count. So thank you for joining us today, and don't forget to join us on the next episode as we equip you with practical tips on how to do great things every day.
Old Mutual, do great things every day.